Since that overturning, 23 states have banned or restricted abortion, including right here in North Carolina. A new NBC News poll shows that 6 in 10 voters remain opposed to the court's ruling removing the national right to abortion. For more insight on it all, we're going to bring in Chuck Todd from Meet the Press. So Chuck, just yesterday, North Carolina Republican legislators rolled out changes to the state's new abortion restrictions that are set to take effect days from now. And we know the vice president, she's coming here tomorrow. So what do you think she hopes to accomplish with the visit to Charlotte?
Look, I think obviously, if you've noticed, you're getting a lot of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and people in the Biden cabinet show up in the state of North Carolina. This is a concerted effort to keep North Carolina in the presidential battleground in 2024. They obviously, look, this is a state Democrats haven't carried since 2008, but they've come awfully close, right? It is definitely more purple than it is red, but it does seem to, they always come up a point or two short in these presidential contests. I think they think that perhaps abortion becomes the sort of tipping point issue here in North Carolina, particularly because North Carolinians are seeing the debate that took place in South Carolina or in the neighboring state of Tennessee. And so there's a lot of North Carolina's neighbors where so I think they see opportunity there, which is why you're seeing her there. I want to make a point about the poll that you just noted. If you look at the history and the modern era of the Supreme Court, and I say the modern era meaning post-World War II, sort of when we were doing a lot of public opinion, after a year, most Supreme Court rulings the public starts to accept them. This is a case where there's zero acceptance. In fact, it is moving against where the number was right after Dobbs to where it is today. Opposition to this ruling has actually grown. With same-sex marriage, we saw there was a slight majority against legalization of same-sex marriage when it happened. But when the Supreme Court ruling happened, within a year, the public sort of ended up embracing it. I think it's quite striking that not only is the public not moved at all here, is not embracing this ruling, they're moving further away from where they were on the ruling even a year ago.
Well, how do you think that's going to change anything, though? Because it doesn't seemingly impact.
Oh, I think it impacts our politics. I think it impacts elections.
Oh, elections.
No,
for sure.
I understand it's not going to impact. I think, well, and that's what you're going to see. I mean, look, it takes. What's interesting about the abortion issue is it's an issue that we sometimes incorrectly in our work, right, us in the media, we sometimes incorrectly call it a divisive issue. Well, the public's not divided on it, right? We have a 60+% consensus on a right to legal abortion in this country. You could argue it if you say it within 15 weeks or lower, it's probably closer to 75-80% consensus. But there's a political divide, right? It's an elected official divide. It's an activist divide, if you will. It's really the Republican Party that is divided on this issue. The Democratic Party is pretty united. It's about a third of Republicans who actually are for legalization, just 2/3 are for it, but it's the primary process. So, I think that this is one of those cases where you got to lose multiple elections in a row over this issue before a party changes on it.
And make sure to tune in to Meet the Press this Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on WCNC Charlotte.